All right, when you're designing your car, there's 3 components that you want to turn on to make sure that you design around those 3 components. It is the blank setup, the front axle up here, and the rear axle back here. Now, where you change the shape of your car are these 3 profiles: upper, lower, and the top. So if your car is out of spec on the length, there's 3 places where you can change it. So if I turn that on, if it's too long, you can see I'm going to move stuff, and I'm going to move this back to make your car shorter. You could also apply that. You could do it in the lower profile. Same thing, you would just bring this point backwards and it'd make your car shorter. Third option is in your top profile. Turn those 2 off. And then just make it shorter here. If you need to change the length of your car, you want to change it in the front of your car. If your car is too tall, the height is out of spec, you want to go to the upper profile. And what you would do is you're going to move these, if your car is really tall like this, all the way to the top. You're just going to move those down and pick the tallest point. Make sure you stay all the way to the back of your car, but you just want to bring that down to make sure that it is not too tall. And then when it's the appropriate height, you'll be in spec for height. Next is called the width of the body at the front axle. And you're going to change that in the top profile. You can see right here where the axle is for both the front and the rear. You want your car completely wide there. You can see it's cutting just a little bit there. And we want it all the way wide wherever your axle is. So I'm going to move this point, and I want to bring it all the way to the edge right at the axle. So for the rear axle and the front axle, width of body at the axle, completely wide. The other spot where it could have you out of spec for width of body at the axle is, I'm going to go done here. It's in the refined solid. And what that is, I'm going to turn this on. Done with that. But in the refined solid, there's a roundness setting. And what that does, it rounds over the edge of your car. And if you make a roundness setting on the bottom in the upper levels, what it does is it rounds the bottom of your car right here at the axle, and then it does not have the appropriate width of body at the axle because it kind of cuts into the axle. So you won't be able to go to those upper settings for that one. So there's 2 spots where your car could be out of spec for width of body at the front axle. The other one is wall thickness above the front and rear axles. That's just making sure that you have enough space, upper profile, enough wood above your axle. I'm going to turn that off so we can see a little bit better. If it's really close, it's going to call you out of spec on that one. So wall thickness above the front and the rear axle would be in the upper profile. You just don't want to get it too close to that axle. The next one is total width, including the wheels. So I'm going to go to the top profile just to show you what this is. And I'm going to turn on the wheels, front wheels, rear wheels. So total width, including the wheels. So how you change that is with the rear and the front axle. So if I turn that on, and if it's too wide, I'd want to make the axle length, which is this right here, the axle, shorter. If it needs to be longer, you can make that longer. You change that right here. I'm going to show you. I'll go to 70, apply that, and then it pushes the axles way out. But that's too far, so I'm going to go back to 50. Total width, including wheels. That's what that one is. And you change it in either the front axle or the rear axle setting. So I'm going to get that back to normal, apply. The last one, mass without cartridge. So if you change anything, if you change the type of wheels, it's going to change your mass. If you change the shape of your car, if I move this down, it's going to cut off more wood. It's going to make your car lighter. If I move that piece up, it's going to add more mass to your car. So if you make any changes to your car, it's either going to increase or decrease the mass.